call the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Carter. Here. Mas Castillo. Here. McGuire. Here. Ortega. Here. Reinhardt. Here. McDonough.
Here. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thankfully, my phone didn't ring while we were doing that. I didn't have it shut off. All right, first item is to approve the agenda for October 1st, please.
So moved. Second.
We got a motion and a second. Roll call.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Carter.
Yes.
Mas Castillo.
Yes.
McDonough.
Aye. Next item is to approve the minutes from September 24th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any corrections? Roll call.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt. Aye. Carter.
Yes.
Mas Castillo.
Yes.
McDonough.
Aye. Our first item is our first proclamation of two today. The first one is Child Care Provider Appreciation Day. Commissioner Mas Castillo. Come on up, all the folks that are here for this. Families, children, staff, come on up.
We have the cutest crew in today.
We do.
All of them. All of our staff that's here is adorable too, but these little ones are special. Should we have them stand up here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So cute.
Oh, right. Scaring some color here.
Oh, that's so cute.
They're gonna look at themselves on TV. Hi, guys. Oh, isn't this fun?
Yes. Very fun.
So we have our, today is we're recognizing our child care providers, and I'll read the proclamation in just a minute, but I also want to just point out that in Ramsey County, we have over 409 providers that are caring for our most vulnerable and our kiddos. And our providers, we have 155 of those providers that have served for more than 20 years. So think they're raising generations and our future of Ramsey County. And so a special thanks to all the providers that are here with us today and the ones that are still at home taking care of kiddos while their parents are at work or at school or in other places. So with that, I'll read the proclamation. Whereas children are one of our greatest resources and strengths, and whereas Ramsey County is committed to nurturing of children, and whereas licensed family child care providers provide a safe, healthy environment that fosters the physical, intellectual, emotional, and social development of children. And whereas licensed family child care providers will be honored at the 42nd Annual Provider Appreciation Event on October 3rd, now therefore it be proclaimed that Ramsey County Board of Commissioners, on behalf of the residents of Ramsey County, declares October 3rd, 2019 as Licensed Family Child Care Provider Appreciation Day. Thank you to all the providers, and I'll hand this to Ann Berry, our interim director. Ann, would you like to say anything?
We got some more guests coming here
Yes.
too. Let's get them up here.
Lots more.
We're doubling the cuteness
Yes.
factor this morning.
Come on up.
Come on. All the way.
Yeah, we got a special spot for you. Come on up.
We've got friends coming.
That's how you get the number.
Oh, and we have babies. This might be the best board meeting ever. We've got babies.
Welcome. Welcome.
Oh, hello. Hi.
right.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am Ann Berry, the Interim Social Services Director, and I want to thank you on behalf of the staff and all of the providers in Ramsey County who provide child care to the many children of Ramsey County. We are grateful for our providers. Our Kids Love Bugs Child Care is one provider here today. And I'm going to ask Kim Clemenson if she would just take a moment to introduce some of the staff that are involved in the process of the development of and licensure of child care programs in Ramsey County. And then I'll turn it back over to Commissioner Matta Castillo. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'd like to introduce Sean Bang. He's a licenser for our child care area. Ida Najay, she is the supervisor. Brian Thine is the manager, and Elaine Roeder is also here, who's also a child care licenser. And I'm Kim Clemenson. Thank you.
Welcome to everybody.
Great. I think with that, we should get a picture of this
Yeah.
really remarkable crew.
Get the kids to look this way.
If any of the commissioners want to join too, because this is a really great photo op, by all means, and we can come closer. Hey, the camera is over there. Look over there.
Staff,
Look
could
over
you
there.
Get in a little bit closer, please.
Can you turn and look that
We
way?
do a double roll of the staff.
Sure.
Yep.
Oh, up here?
No, the staff.
Come forward. Closer.
Get a little bit closer.
So it almost doesn't look like this table is in our way.
Can you see all the
Maybe
children?
a double roll.
I can hold one.
We'll get as many as possible.
That's great.
Yeah, come in close. Because she's gonna go from up a little bit. So yeah. Uh-oh. It's like I need a hand. Look over there. Look at the camera. Right there.
Hey, where you going?
All right. She's got her spot.
That's what we get right here. This looks pretty darn good.
Where you going? Hey.
This looks like how when I take my family photos, it's a
Don't you
little
want to
like
be in the
this.
picture? Yeah, go back there. Hey, sit
1,
down.
2,
Be in the
3.
picture. Oh, okay, I get it.
Hooray.
I got one.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now they're just sitting there perfectly.
Oh, the cup is
All right, thank you. Thank you for coming down here today. Hope you have a great day. Yes, thank you so much for being here. It was pretty special. You made our day special.
I feel like they should have trees.
Well, now they're settled.
That's why we did it real quick. It's time to say goodbye. We'll help you guys out.
Thank you.
Dominic, come on. Dominic.
Pardon me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a big day for them.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for
Bye-bye.
coming.
Okay.
I should get that close to it too.
Don't forget manufacturing proclamation. Like, when do you guys
I
finish?
know. The other really cute crowd is next.
Who's doing that one? It's not me, is it?
Tony.
Bye-bye.
We know, guys. I don't know what happened to the
Thank you.
family last week.
Jim came in.
Oh. There's so many things. They did come?
I think they got a hold of him.
Oh, okay.
That's what I
Okay.
Calhoun. So cute.
All right. Next up, we have a proclamation. Just as important as Child Care Provider Appreciation Day is our Manufacturing Week in Ramsey County. And Commissioner Carter has the enviable task of making that just as exciting. So come on up. Come on up.
Another
Well, if each
adorable
one of you will
Everybody
grab a
who's here.
child before they go, we might succeed. No, this is really very exciting
Yep.
because we
Come on up.
are celebrating a key industry for our county and for our state. And Workforce Solutions Director Ling Becker is here with me, along with participants from manufacturing industry who will be able to make a few statements after we've read the proclamation. So thank you all for being here this morning. And the proclamation for Manufacturing Week in Ramsey County reads as follows. Whereas manufacturing is a dynamic and robust industry that is crucial to the health and strength of Ramsey County's economy, and whereas manufacturing added $5.1 billion to Ramsey County's economy in 2018, and whereas in 2018, Ramsey County had 655 manufacturing establishments that supplied 27,510 jobs. Let me say that again. 27,510 jobs to our workforce. And whereas manufacturing in Ramsey County pays an average annual wage of $87,745, and manufacturing workers typically earn 38.5% more than the average overall worker each year in Ramsey County. That's a big deal. And whereas October 1st through the 7th, 2019, is Minnesota Manufacturing Week. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners declares October 1st through the 7th, 2019, as Manufacturing Week in Ramsey County. And thank you again. I will present the proclamation, and of course it is being shared by all of you to Ling Becker, and thank you for a few words.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Carter, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Good morning. I'm so thrilled to be able to have Ramsey County be a part of the statewide celebration. Governor Walz also proclaimed this to be Manufacturing Week in the entire state. When it comes to workforce development, this is one of my favorite weeks. You've heard a lot about the number of jobs that are created in manufacturing. What's also interesting is for every one job in manufacturing, it means 2.8 other jobs in supportive industries in our community. In Ramsey County, we are the home to many businesses of all sizes that are creating products including medical devices, adhesives, food and beverages, packaging, metal products, and so much more. Yesterday, DEED announced record job vacancies in our state. In today's paper, it was listed that current job openings in manufacturing is at 8% right now. In addition, the challenges of aging and retiring workforce, along with shortage in housing and daycare, is putting additional pressure on many of our manufacturing businesses. So today with me are some of our partners from two specific manufacturing partnerships I'd like to highlight in Ramsey County. I felt it fitting to hear about some of the work that the manufacturers are doing to ensure that we're getting more Ramsey County residents employed in manufacturing. So with us is Bill Murray, CEO of Schwing America, a global manufacturer of concrete production and handling equipment. They're located in White Bear Township. Dr. Wayne Kazmierczak, Superintendent of White Bear Lake Schools. They're part of a Department of Labor and Industry partnership that Ramsey County has been very involved in to support youth who are under the age of 18 to be able to experience manufacturing work experiences in the business themselves. And also with us are representatives from the East Side Baldinger Bakery, with several folks here. Mr. Kendall Wagner, COO, Becky Denkendorfer, are the HR representative, and also Brandon Foley. And this company works very closely with the Port Authority, so we have Tanya Bauer here with us from the Port, and then Rachel Speck and Jim Dirtle, who are representatives of the East Side Employment Exchange, and I'd like for them to be able to share just real briefly about some of their work as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Bill here for a second, and then Wayne, and then we'll move on to the East Side Partnership as well.
Thank you, Lynn.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Thanks for having us here today. And my name is Bill Murray. I'm the CEO and CFO and COO and several other positions at Schwing America. It's a German-owned company. It goes back to 1974 when it started on Pierce Butler Road, and then moved up to White Bear when it acquired the farmland up there, and then sold off the movie theater. And so, but it's been an exciting company for us, exciting time in the neighborhood. Ling has done an outstanding job with Badlands Heights Economic Development Council, really bringing the community together, working with the schools, whether it be high school or the colleges, to really attract and bring back the manufacturing jobs. But they're not all what we think. It's what I preach at work is people, process, and systems, and it changes the nature of the work. Manufacturing is still manual labor, but there's also a fair amount and increasing amount of support that goes into that process. Because what I preach is that in a people, process, system paradigm, whichever one is weak, the others make up for. So if we're short of people, we need a better process or system. It still requires people to design that process or develop the systems. So manufacturing has a broader umbrella of just not manual labor. It's all that supports the process of making something that's tangible. So it's not as cool as software and stuff like that, but there's an enormous amount of software that goes into the process of manufacturing. And that's why with working with the schools, it's to explain and educate our younger folks, maybe not these guys today, but actually they might understand it. I'd love to have them work for me. They might listen, maybe not. But anyway, it's really been a process, whether it's the Gen Z program or the internships. It's to get them excited about it. And then obviously in our neck of the woods, with North Oaks getting potentially redeveloped and the roads and a lot of things up there, that will bring more folks. A lot of our folks drive from the north into Ramsey County because we're right on the border of Anoka County, right? And so a lot of folks will travel down. So we're trying to figure out, and working with the North Oaks development, is how do we build our base in Ramsey County and employ them in Ramsey? So it's not to kind of steal from the others, but to build in that community. So it'll be very interesting. But thanks for all your support. And Ling and the rest of the gang here. It's an exciting time for us, and we look forward to prospering in Ramsey County.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for the invite, Ling. I think maybe 45 or 50 years ago for some of us, we might have been that cute. But so we're doing our best, so cut us a little slack. So I just have a brief thing I want to comment on here. Through the hard work and commitment of not only our staff, but also our community partners, including Ramsey County, and thank you, Victoria, in particular. White Bear Lake Area Schools has become a leader in providing opportunities for students. Our strategic plan has provided a blueprint for ramping up our career pathway opportunities for students, as we are fully committed to student-centered instruction, and clearly our career pathway work aligns with that philosophy. We are seeking passage of a bond referendum that will allow us to create a new high school that will propel us even further down the path of creating opportunities for each and every student. We have an opportunity to re-envision high school. What a unique opportunity this is, and with a mind towards career pathway work and what that might look like in a 21st century school. So we're excited about that possibility. We are committed to working with our partners, including Ramsey County, to be part of the solution to our workforce shortage. We embrace that role. Thank you for your support, leaders of Ramsey County, and thank you for proclaiming this Manufacturing Week to highlight this critically important industry.
Thank you for your leadership.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Kendall Wagner. I'm the COO of Baldinger Bakery. We started back in 1888 up on Selby Avenue, right here in St. Paul, right in Ramsey County. And Fortunes, we were a white tablecloth kind of restaurant serving baked goods to white tablecloth restaurants. And in 1967, or 57, our fortunes changed. Bob Baldinger, the third generation of our company, was serving at the Criterion Hotel, and Ray Kroc happened to be eating at the Criterion Hotel, and he said, I can't find anybody to make an individual hamburger bun. Back in those days, they were all in clusters like you buy at the store today. And the guy who owned the Criterion Hotel said, well, I got a baker. He's here making a special delivery. Maybe we could ask him, see what he thinks. So brought him out, introduced him, and our fortunes kind of changed at that point. So we began with one restaurant in Roseville, Minnesota, and today we do about 6,000 restaurants throughout all of North America and in Canada and globally. So our roots are still here in St. Paul. We're over on Eva Street, just across the river, for many, many years, and through the Port Authority. And we partnered with them back in '69 to build the bakery over there. And we partnered with them again in 2010 and built a bakery over on Phelan Boulevard in the old 3M area of Phelan. But we've grown substantially since then. We just went through another phase where we got the East Side Exchange and others to help us with upping our production again. So we now have about 120 here in St. Paul. And globally, we have about 320 employees globally now. So we continue to grow and continue to grow with our customer McDonald's, and we appreciate what the community here has done for us and our growth, and look forward to many, many more years of having our roots anchored right here in this community. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Rachel Speck. I'm an employer consultant working with the East Side Exchange. We're a collaborative of nonprofit organizations working to connect job seekers on the east side of St. Paul with good employment opportunities and training opportunities, if that's where their interest is. We've had the honor of partnering with Baldinger Bakery and a number of other east side employers and Ramsey County employers as well, around recruiting and hiring staff for their organizations and companies as they grow and expand here in Ramsey County. We're very committed to ensuring that there's access to these great employment opportunities for families on the east side and supporting the east side as a whole. So thank you for proclaiming this Manufacturing Week. We love manufacturers. They're great partners of ours, including Baldinger Bakery.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for coming and for sharing with us the work that is going on in manufacturing. And I guess I would say that they may not be as cute, but they're active. They're just as active in producing manufacturing jobs and employing Ramsey County residents. We look forward to your success, which is ours. Ling, did you have any final comments?
Again, just thank you to commissioners for honoring this important week, because these are the bread and butter really of our job creation in our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll get a picture here, get everybody in.
Commissioner Carter.
Look, Jim, we have to keep look over here.
Yeah, so you get in front of me and maybe you guys can hold this. Okay. Here, let me give this to you. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you.
We need to have like circulate around.
We'll have custody of it.
Drive by there.
All right, we're going to move to the administrative items. Commissioner McGuire.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move item number 7, item number 8, number 9, number 10, and number 11.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
McGuire?
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Carter.
Yes.
Modest Castillo.
Aye.
McDonough.
Aye. Next up is our county connections, and I hate this word, acting county manager, because there's no such thing. For the last week, Elizabeth Poltzman has been our county manager. So Elizabeth, county connections.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Acting is what it is, really is. I'm pleased to share our county connections for this week. I had so many to offer that I had to limit it to 3, but I'm sure we will spill over to next week's county board meeting. The first one I want to highlight is individual acts of excellence. Correctional Officer Patty Morrison from our Ramsey County Correctional Facility received the Employee of the Year Award from the Association of Correctional Food and Service Affiliates. She was honored at the ACFS 2019 annual conference held in Memphis, Tennessee on September 24th. So a huge congratulations to Patty. The second category I want to highlight is under collective acts of excellence. And this is to highlight our work around immigration wraparound services. Last August, the county board approved $100,000 in wraparound services to provide programmatic ongoing support to families and individuals who may be going through removal proceedings. And on this Thursday, October 3rd, at the Hamlin Midway Library from 3:30 to 5:30, we are holding a community conversation and information session about this funding stream on how community can contract with us to provide education, outreach, resource connections, referral, and other supports to immigrant and refugee families. And I could follow up with an email to the entire county board about that flyer. We have over 60 people from the community registered for the event already, and so we're really excited about that. And I just want to highlight the key folks who were integral to this process. When you delegate something to the policy and planning director, she can't get anything done in 8 months. But if you delegate it to an awesome team, they make it happen within weeks. So kudos to Sarah Holly, Lydia Germa, Xia Zhang, Gina Pistilka, Jessica Journey, Amy Zhang, Kathy Hadeen, and Kim Close. This is a collaboration between Policy and Planning, Public Health, and the Health and Wellness Administration Department. The very last category I want to highlight is advancing our strategic priorities on integrated health, wellness, and justice. Starting in October, our financial assistance workers will be providing direct services at our correctional facilities to help our clients get enrolled in cash and food benefits in Ramsey County. This is a huge step in that this will help with exit efforts and also prevent reentry efforts into the county system, because by putting our workers to our clients and residents, they now can skip a process about having to come back to the county for additional support services, and this really helps our goal of individual and family stability. Staff had been working on this for over 4 years to make this happen, and it was truly a collaboration between financial assistance services, correction, and public health, and really our service team structure has allowed this to happen. And again, it's another great example of county staff collaboration. I do want to call out Al Carlson and Gail Murky, who I believe are in the audience today. I think this is the first time they've been to a county board meeting, and they wanted to be here for this special recognition. And Liz Reitz in corrections, also Ali in financial assistance services, and public health staff, Kathy Dean, Chris Glatt, under the direction of Ann Berry. So just really great kudos and great example of the service team structure and our cross-collaborative county staff work.
Good work. Thank you. Commissioner McGuire, outside board and committee reports.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to start off by giving a shout out to Carrie Collins, our Economic Development Director, who presented at the Roseville Business Council. She does such a nice job of really making those connections with community and presenting all the great work that we have going on in our economic development and working with our partners. And she had our open to business person there too. So it was a great presentation of what Ramsey County is doing in that area. So thank you to Carrie Collins for that. Then I was fortunate to be able to attend the Minnesota Association of Community Corrections at Counties. And this is a conference that many of our corrections people go to, and it's because we're a CCA, which is a Community Corrections Act County, and we try to do we do more corrections work with their families and in our communities than we do putting people in prison. And we had a great speaker that came and talked about changing the perspective of community supervision to one of a coach instead of a referee. Participants will gain insight into new ways to address behavior and explore the benefits of taking a coaching perspective. So rather than just say, you know, you're bad, you're good, it's like, here's how you can be better. And it was just such an amazing presentation, and it was a great focus of the conference. So our corrections director was there, John Clavens and others. And we also heard about justice reinvestment, which is all about restitution and really working within our community on helping our people that are justice involved to really be more able to be dealt with in the community rather than having to put them in prison. And it's really been safer for the communities and better for our families. So it's just always a great conference. We have great participation statewide, and we actually really talked a lot about how we need legislative funding to help with our work, because the legislature funds our Community Corrections Act formula, so it'll be a big part of our legislative agenda. And I know that AMC is also promoting that, and I'm going to encourage all of our colleagues to have CCA funding be a priority when we get to rank our priorities. It's actually just so important for all of our community that we have this kind of funding. So that was really great. And then I'm the co-chair of Active Living, and we had our meeting yesterday, and gave a recognition to Sandy Rummel, our former co-chair, who was on the Met Council, and she did not run for reappointment to the Met Council, so she retired from Active Living. But we have a new co-chair, which is Peter Lindstrom, who's on the Met Council, and he was very excited. This is a lot of what he does in his other work is to really promote mobility and walkability and environmental sustainability. And so he was happy to be our co-chair, so we welcomed him to the group. And then a big shout out to our community health assessment team of Jocelyn and Chetta and Tom Tao, who gave a great presentation to our coalition about the community health assessment. And there's these great one-pagers, and I encourage all of you to look at it, which is about walkable neighborhoods, our parks, transportation and public access. They have done one-pagers on specific areas of how we have really surveyed our community and found out what the assessment is of our community in so many areas, and they highlighted these three for our active living. So I just encourage everyone to really look at our community health assessment, which is posted and it's online. So I encourage the community to go on and look at information that they provide, because it's really good. And Alina Health Systems was there as a partner, and they gave huge kudos to our team for the community health assessment that we did. So it's really great to have healthcare partners in the room. So just it's a great coalition, and we're all of our communities are working on their comprehensive plan, which is due at the end of the year, and they're all including active living as one of their milestones. So that's really great. And then my last thing is that I want to just remind everyone that you got an invitation to the Pritzker. It's the Pritzker 0 to 3 update. We're having an early childhood advisory council meeting next Monday from 1 to 2 at the Ramsey County Library in Roseville. All of our communities have been invited who are partners to this, our school districts, and people that have been instrumental in working with our prenatal to 3. And so I want to thank Elizabeth Tolesman for her great work on this, and for our team that's doing the work on this. So it's next Monday. If any of you can come, that would be great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ortega.
I want to give a shout out to Jefferson Bus Lines. They had their 100-year celebration at the Union Depot. They had a great turnout. They were one of our original tenants at the depot and have been great partners with us. The event was attended by the governor and both mayors of both cities, so congratulations to Charlie Sully, a former MnDOT transportation commissioner, good friend of Ramsey County, and he had a nice event at the Union Depot.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Reinhardt.
Well, last week was a busy week. I do want to comment on the Landmark Center. Last week I gave a pitch for going to the historic reenactment of the Teapot Dome scandal and everything that came around that. It was very interesting because anybody that went to it, there were things that were really hit close to home right now, but this was written months ago, and it just happened that the timing was such. But it was really interesting. They do such a fantastic job there, and I don't even know how many years they've been doing this. Probably, I mean, it's got to be over 15, and it's a lot of work for Landmark Center. The judges and lawyers, primarily, that are the actors in it, do a fantastic job as well. So just wanted to do a shout out to another great event there. I also attended the Suburban Ramsey Family Collaborative meeting. A lot of good work going on there. The Dorothy Day Place preview opening celebration, I expect that Commissioner McDonough will talk more about that since he was on stage and got to put the ribbon back together. That was also really fun. But I want to, and the Recycling and Energy Board met, and the highlight of that meeting was the presentation by Commissioner Montes-Castillo and Commissioner Johnson. I never thought two people could get that excited about garbage. Excuse me, but they did a great job and really kept it informative and entertaining at the same time. So, but the one thing that I really want to talk a little bit about is the Maplewood Business Council. They're part of the St. Paul Area Chamber of Commerce, and they have a meeting. I think it's every month, but I try to get to them as often as I can. This one was about public safety. And so the public safety officer, Scott Nadeau, the fire chief, Steve Lucan, actually, and you know what? I'm going to get the names wrong and what roles they have. But the fire, the police, the public safety officer, thank you. We're there. And if you're like me and did CPR training years ago, never got trained on AED, I learned so much that day. Hands-only CPR, really easy, and it doesn't take much to learn, and it was basically people were very nervous about CPR, and when I learned it, it was about doing the breathing and the mouth-to-mouth and the compressions, and so they were it was very easy to actually practice. They had the dummies there that you could figure out how to do the CPR on. The other thing was the AED. They always, I mean, you see them in different places. I had no idea how easy they were to use. Everything is in there. It tells you exactly what to do and exactly what to listen for. And so it is something that I think, again, I learned a lot. I also learned about the carbon monoxide. Well, I have carbon monoxide detectors, thank you, and smoke alarms in my home, but really talking about their lifespan and how often you have to change them. Fire extinguishers, and the fire extinguishers at my home, I don't think had the gauge on them that says, is it good or is it not, and can it be recharged or can it not? So with all of that, I learned, and this was all in an hour meeting, mind you. I also, they had a simulator for putting out a fire and what you do and where do you aim. And I put it out and then it came back and then I had to put it out again. So all of this was going on. And so where did I go right after that? I went to Costco. And I actually ran into Commissioner Carter and to Steve, and so I was like, okay.
Where I went right after that.
Yes, I mean, it's like, okay, you know what you need, and it just was really empowering to be able to know what you need to do, how you can do it, and there's also an app called Pulse Point that you can sign up for, and basically, if you're in the area and somebody needs help, they give you, there's an alarm that goes off, and they said you don't have to worry about missing the alarm because it is incredibly loud and where you need to go, and it tells you where the AEDs are. And again, to me, it always had seemed pretty complicated because I didn't know just how easy it is to be there to save a life. And the statistics that they gave around that as well were pretty sobering, as far as if somebody is there, you have a much better chance of survival. And so anyhow, as I said, I just wanted to put that out there. I know that any of our police departments, fire departments, they all have this information, and you can go and check it out because you can save a life. It's just that simple. You can save a life. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Mattis-Castillo.
Yes, that was exciting.
Yes.
That was exciting. A couple quick updates. I just want to do a shout out to the amazing organizers who organized the Harvest Fest Parade this weekend on the east side. I got to march with Jim or really watch in awe. Jim can shake a lot of hands, I'll just tell you, it's amazing. And then also the Marydale Festival in the North End this weekend, which is an arts and cultural festival on North End by Loeb Lake. It's the third year running and really is remarkable, a really great event. It was also great to see our own Ramsey County out there doing outreach about the revisioning of Rice Street, and so our consultants were engaging community on what that looks like, and so that was really great to see them. I also had the opportunity to tour the Andai Young Center, which is a new transitional housing for Indigenous youth, 18 to 24-year-olds. They're opening in the district, so that's pretty exciting, on University Avenue in the next few weeks. And they'll begin housing in efficiency apartments, youth that have experienced homelessness. They will have 42 units there, which is pretty exciting. And so if you're driving down University and you see a beautiful, brightly colored building, that's the Andai Young Center. So it's really incredible. I also had the opportunity to speak to former Mayor Scheibel's class at Hamlin University. He's teaching a course there about Hamlin without walls and engaging young students into our field of work. So it was really exciting to be able to connect with young people about the work of the county. Surprisingly, many of them didn't know what the county did, but they do now. And in fact, one, you always think, is there one that's listening, reached out and said, "You've inspired me. I want to be a county commissioner when I grow up." And so I have begun mentoring the process, so that was pretty exciting. It felt like a day we were winning when we have that. And then I just want to mention that I will not be here at next week's board meeting. I am going along with a delegation from St. Paul to our sister city in Changsha, China. I'll be leaving on Sunday, so I'll miss next week's board meeting, but I'll represent the county well on that sister city and friendship tour, so I'll be gone for a week, but just wanted to let you know. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Carter.
So thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to share back, and I will blend last week and the week before, because last week I was at the ACLU luncheon, or I should say breakfast, and we had a very quick meeting, so I made it back during the workshop. I just wanted to share that, and I know you've all heard this, but I want to celebrate that we had the Career Force opening, which brands Career Force for our county as a part of the statewide Career Force rollout. You all know that our Career Force Center opened first, and that we had the opportunity to have an event with the remodeling of the center along University Avenue last year. But this was the opportunity to rebrand and announce and lift up, along with the whole state, the Career Force Centers. And we had guests there, hosted by Chad Colas, who is our chair of our Workforce Innovation Board, and Chad is the president of the St. Paul Midway Chamber. And others were there from our Workforce Innovation Board and from throughout industry to serve on a panel and help uplift the event. Mayor Carter was there, and of course I was there. And it was an excellent opportunity to reintroduce our rebranded, re-envisioned customer service center, Workforce Center. Career Force Center, I always want to say that, okay, put that out front. The second thing I'd like to share is that I was able to, along with Commissioners McGuire and McDonough, and I know Commissioner Mattis-Castillo was on her way, to be able to share at the Citizens Advisory Council annual meeting last week. The council shared with us the work that they have been doing in their volunteer committees on our behalf, their connection to us in human services particularly, and all of their presentations were informative. It was wonderful to see the ownership that they have for advising us and sharing with our community our work in human services. Their theme was "We Are Community," and they showed us the opportunity that we had in working with them to uplift, to hear and to uplift the voice of our community. Thank you to Jennifer O'Rourke and to Paul Allwood, who also shared with them, and we are looking forward to that enhanced work for the future. I attended the Deed Roundtable that Governor Walz sponsored, along with the Commissioner of Deed, and we were able to hear from them Deed's new strategic plan, which engages bold goals for workforce participation, for wages, and for innovation and inclusion. Those goals, fortunately, because we have been in constant communication over time, align very well with the Greater Metropolitan Workforce Council goals as well. And we were sharing with people from throughout the state the commitment that Deed has and the connection that Deed needs to all of us in order to succeed in its work for us. I also was able to attend the JDAI statewide advisory committee meeting along with Commissioner McGuire. The good news on juvenile detention alternatives initiative for our state is that although this work has been supported by the Association of Minnesota Counties over many years, I haven't calculated how many, but probably since 2011 or 12, that work has now been assumed by the Department of Corrections at the state of Minnesota. And so now we truly have a statewide juvenile detention alternatives initiative underneath the Department of Corrections, which spells hopefully sustainability and the ability for their work to grow across our state. I do want to mention that I attended the Resource and Energy Board meeting and heard Commissioner Matas-Castillo do her first trash talk. And so she is definitely following in the footsteps of Commissioner Reinhardt and shared with us information from a California tour that looked at new technologies that we will be able to benefit from. Last but not least, I do want to share that we all know so much has been going on throughout our community with the past violence over the past month or two that we have experienced. There have been a number of activities throughout the community. I really want to lift up the name of Danny Givens, who has been called on multiple times across our community and continues to be called on. The work that has been designed by public health for assisting the community to heal and for partnering to walk alongside individuals to help them move beyond the grasp of potential violence. That work has been called on immediately. And Danny has responded. You know, I have to say thank you to the public health team that's supporting him. I was able also to be in several events that happened across the community over the past couple of weeks. Danny sponsored an event on Gregson Thomas. Commissioner Matas-Castillo and I were there. I had the opportunity to walk with Progressive Baptist Church, which came into the University Avenue community and brought parishioners and shared with people along the way a message of hope and recovery, healing. And I was also able to attend last week the NAACP-sponsored event that happened at Arlington Lutheran Church, where a large number of people came out to share their concern and also to share their commitment to acting to address this violence, both from the perspective of working with police, but also with an understanding that there are public health needs that must be addressed. I want to thank our law enforcement lead, Sheriff Fletcher, and Deputy Sheriff, what is his name? My goodness, this is crazy. Corky Finney, Deputy Sheriff Finney, for being there as well. I attended the Bible study at St. Albans Church on the Wednesday following the event that had happened at St. Albans, and there were a large number of people there to support the church, to encourage the minister, and the parishioners there. So there is a lot going on, and my last point there is simply to share that as we see that work being called forward, we know the stress that it takes to respond. And so I would appreciate, I know all of us appreciate, thanks going out to Danny and to Public Health for being there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner McMillan?
Commissioner Reinhardt.
Can I just do one follow-up? First of all, I want to do a kudos to Commissioner Carter for the Juvenile Detention Alternatives Initiative being the foresight to try to make that happen here and starting it here, and now it being statewide. It wouldn't have happened but for you and your efforts there. I also wanted to go back and I wanted to make sure I got the names right for the Maplewood public safety folks. Steve Lucan is the fire chief. Michael Mondor is the EMS chief. Sean Conway is the battalion chief of operations and training. And then Scott Nadeau is the public safety director. And they have put together an incredible team, and they were all there and provided all of the instructions and overview.
Good.
Thank you.
I'll briefly talk about the Higher Ground Opportunity Center ribbon tying. They actually practiced tying the ribbon. That didn't go so well, so we used Velcro. I just want to remind the board that, with Higher Ground and the Opportunity Center, this is a $100 million public-private partnership and an investment in our community to do better. And we were the first capital dollars in at the very beginning with a $1.5 million commitment. And a part of that was us committing in the Opportunity Center to actually have staff on site. We're leasing space there. I got to get a sneak preview of that, brought Elizabeth and Paul up so they could take a look at that space, and I know staff are having conversations right now with Catholic Charities, as are a number of other partners. The one thing about the Opportunity Center is they really have made a strong effort to bring partners right into that facility to make connections as people are coming through those doors. So it was a great culmination of 5, 6, 7 years of a vision here for St. Paul and moving from the old Dorothy Day Center to Higher Ground and Opportunity Center and the connections and the strength that it brings to our community. And one of the things that I had a small role there with as a woman got to tell her story about being homeless and now actually having stability in her own place to call home. And 2 of the outreach workers for Catholic Charities that work every single day out on the streets working with them, and I got to be a part of that. And it was everybody's role there was to talk about their hope for the future. And I really wanted to repeat kind of what I said there, because I really do believe that for the alignment we have right now between public, private partners, civic leadership, business leadership, state, city, county, wherever you look, that alignment is as strong as I've ever seen it in helping us address the homeless issue. It shows up in my calendar because there's hardly a day that doesn't go by that I'm not talking to or meeting with somebody about homelessness in our community. And as we continue to do better in situations within our community, the economic situations and rising values of homes and all these other things, we keep doing better, but it just keeps coming and coming. But I do have hope that with this alignment that we can eliminate homelessness in our community. So I was able to speak, but I was proud to do it on behalf of Ramsey County and the leadership of this board and each and every one of you that you do every single day, and recognizing that we were the first in years and years ago to help get this thing going. So with that, after a number of budget hearings, workshops, multiple workshops on days, board conversations, we are giving our staff a day off today to breathe and actually do their work that they're assigned to. So we're not having any workshops today, but we're going to hit the ground running hard next week. I believe we got 2 scheduled again. So with that, we're adjourned. Thank you.